What a first round IO.
We are live.
Football.
We are BKU. We are live. It is December 23rd, 2024, episode 22. Great first round week. Boys, how we feeling?
Football.
Insanity.
Football.
Happy. Ready to roll.
Nothing better than some college football. Nothing better
apparently, some people in this podcast want less, but, you know.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But first off, we have to talk about what happened this past weekend. And we will start in South Bend, Indiana, where the Fighting Irish took on the Indiana Hoosiers, number 7 seed, taking on the number 10 seed. The battle for the state of Indiana. In 49 states, that's only football.
Basketball.
But in Indiana, it was a very physical, gritty, tough game by the Irish. They pulled away. Riley Leonard looked really precise all night. Indiana looked outmatched, outgunned every inch of this game. We had 98-yard touchdown run, which at the time was the shortest and longest touchdown run in college football playoff history of the 12-team era. Just saying.
Yes, it was.
Moving on to the 12 p.m. game on Saturday. The number 6 seed, Penn State Nittany Lions. They euthanized those Mustangs in Happy Valley.
Womp
They
womp.
looked cold. They looked sluggish. They looked slow. They looked
Bad.
like they were a JV team playing your college team. Kevin Jennings looked cold. He was rubbing his hands. He was blowing on his hands. The pass rush was outmatched by Penn State. They couldn't stop him. Penn State looked fantastic every phase of the game. SMU had a little bit of plays here and there, had a chance to get into the game. Penn State's defense shut the door very early, very quick. Not a big fight there. We go to Austin, DKR, Texas.
The only
Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, there you go.
And Quinn Ewers and the boys, they said Coach Sweeney's got that drip, but they're going back to South Carolina because they sent them home packing. Clemson made it a 7-point game late, but then Texas, bam, 60-yard touchdown run, put the dagger right in Clemson's chest, and the Tigers backdoor their way in. Out the front door they go. They're out of the playoff. 38-24, Texas advances, and they will take on the gritty, tough Arizona State Sun Devils, led by Cam Scattaboo and the Pitchforks. But the biggest one of the week, the game of the weekend that many thought were going to come in and come true, did not live up to the hype for the Tennessee Volunteers. Neyland North turned into the Neyland's death. The Volunteers, they died on that field Saturday night. The Ohio State Buckeyes, 42, Tennessee Volunteers, 17. Will Howard played his best game of the season, in my opinion. J.J. Smith, what happens when you get him the ball? He scores touchdowns, makes plays. Emeka Egbuka, 2, 9 targets. J.J. Smith, 12 targets. Cardinal Tate, 5 targets. You love to see it out of this offense. Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, they came ready to play. They looked awesome. They looked like the team we have been waiting for since Oregon. The running game looked good. They out-physical. They controlled the line. Everything you wanted to see out of an Ohio State team we saw Saturday night.
Pow!
They were literally smashing helmets.
They cracked a helmet in the first 5 minutes of the game. Nico, he hit the LeBron down 18, the craziest celebration I've ever seen in the shoe. It sets up the rematch of the ages.
Everybody
The game of the year. And the Rose Bowl, a classic Pac-10 versus Big Ten matchup for all the marbles to move on to take on Arizona State or Texas in the Cotton Bowl. Boys, oh boy, we have ourselves some matchups in the next round, but we can't start without talking about what happened on Saturday and Friday night. So, Danny, lead with whatever game you want to talk about. I know which one you want to talk about. Take us to Columbus.
You know what? I'm going to talk in order.
Well, I would say you should start with the best game of the weekend, but there was not a good game on the weekend. So
No, not at all.
The only game that was even doable for a good game was Clemson, Texas. Clemson jumps out early. Texas kind of takes control. And then it was that that weird separation where it's like Clemson's there, but Texas, you never really felt like the game was in jeopardy. It was just like, it was a little disappointing for the playoffs, but hey, you're going to get that in the first round, especially when you have the bye system the way it is. The best teams are playing in the first round against the worst teams.
Yeah. Well, if you want to start with Indiana and Notre Dame, we can.
Yeah.
From the jump of the kickoff, I believe Indiana got ball first. If I remember correctly. No, Notre Dame got ball first, turned it over. Or something like along those lines.
Yeah, didn't they throw a pick earlier or something?
Interception for Riley Leonard. And then as Indiana was driving to open up the game, they then threw themselves an interception as well, trying to get a really fast snap going to take advantage of a potential incomplete pass. And from that point on, 98 yards to the house, and Notre Dame never looked back. They were dominant. They controlled every phase of the game. The late score made it a 10-point game, but that score does not reflect what we saw Friday night. Trevor, thoughts on how Notre Dame looked against the Hoosiers?
If they can play like that, it's going to be I think they could have a long run in this playoffs. Defense has looked great all year. Great again. I think it was Indiana they were always like a little bit close, but they would need some luck, some turnovers and stuff to roll their way. And Notre Dame, I think they're a team that they're not going to have that stuff. Not a lot of turnovers. You're going to keep it nice and clean, play a good game, walk out with a 10-point win.
Yep. Some stats for Notre Dame in the game. Riley Leonard went 23 for 32, 200 yards and a touchdown interception. Jeremiah Love only had 8 touches in the game, but made it count, 108 yards. The 98-yard one was the big one. Is it Jeremiah Price? Jadarian Price. Sorry. 11 carries, 32 yards, a touchdown. They ran the ball really tough. Indiana, they controlled I would say, other than the big touchdown run, they were able to hold their own to an extent. But Notre Dame's defense is that tough where they're going to make you kind of break you down, kind of like a boa constrictor. And wrapping yourselves around you and just make you tired the whole game and then finally pull away at the end. Danny?
Yeah. And that's what I think that's what we were saying before this round. It was going to be one of those games where, like, technically at halftime, it might be scoreboard doable, but you knew just the way Notre Dame is going to play that your comment about the snake is perfect. Like, they just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and you're down 14, but it feels like you're down 20. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah,
and they will beat Georgia next round, but that's for a different episode.
He's already calling it. Yeah, that's going to be a fun, tough matchup for Notre Dame. I think Georgia's also in a really tough spot because we don't know what Gunnar Stockton's going to truly do. Mm-hmm. We have our thoughts. We all have our opinions if they're going to come out fired up, or will they fall kind of back down to where they were with Carson Becker in the year where he's throwing 3 picks a game. So we'll truly see what Notre Dame's made out of when they take on Georgia. But until then, it's only a guessing game. Mm-hmm. Moving on to Happy Valley, Penn State beating SMU in 38-10. Never really had a shot in this game. Their shot was driving down the field, opening drive, and they on 4th and 1, instead of Kevin Jennings running to the first down marker, he throws it into the end zone and an incomplete pass. And from that point on, all the momentum was gone.
Yeah, he got it in his head early. He tried to do too much early. It just felt like he was never, like, fully settled in the game and playing ball. It felt like he was in the moment too much, and sadly it just snowballed. I don't think they really ever had a chance in this one, but, they didn't help themselves. Penn State was up 14-0, and SMU was holding Penn State's offense in check, like more than in check. Actually, they were suffocating them. But you look up and it's 14-0, and when you're already the underdog, like, it's gonna be kind of hard to. You can't spot them 14.
Right. It was very difficult. Some of the worst passes you'll ever see.
Yeah, that second pick six, or maybe it was the first one. I don't know.
The first one,
13 caught it and, like, ran all the way back.
Yeah,
that was the worst pass ever. That wasn't even, like, 13 just stood there and just like it looked like a perfect pass, but he threw it to the wrong jersey.
And him making everyone miss. Put that guy at fullback or something.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord. I know you're going against offensive lineman, but he made even the receivers miss.
It was funny when once he made like the first like 3 people miss, it was him and a lineman. He was out of gas, and then the lineman's just slow. It was so funny. Took him forever to go like that last 20 yards. Lyman tries to dive. He almost trips, and I was like, oh, my
You know what's funny? He said he wanted to play a little wide receiver.
He can.
Put him in.
Yeah.
They will be taking on Boise State next in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yep.
That'll be on New Year's Eve. That'll be a fun game. I want to see Ashton Jeanty against defense very similar to Penn State. A lot of NFL DNs on it. It'll be nice to see him go up against what he's going to be facing next year on Sundays. So, if we have anything
more competitive than SMU, but Penn State,
I agree
by double digits.
I think Boise's got a shot in this game. I think they have a realistic shot to keep it close.
Fiesta Bowl. It's Boise.
Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl, they have history. Unlike any other program, there's no one really as infamous in a bowl game as Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. As Auburn may be at home against top 10 teams.
Yeah.
Crazy things happen.
Yeah.
Next game in Austin. Texas Longhorns. They beat Clemson 38-24. Cade Klubnik, he played – I think he did all he could. Keep Clemson in and a possible shot to upset Texas, but when you're a top 5 team in the nation, it's hard to go in their building and win. And they got close. Look at them. They jumped out to the 7-0 lead. They got within 7 2 more times late in the fourth. And then, like I said earlier in the recap, Texas kind of just put their foot down when they needed to the most, and they ran that 60-yard touchdown run right through the heart of the Tigers. They had a couple more opportunities after that, couldn't make anything of it. Trevor, is Dabo's run over at Clemson?
It's looking like it. I trusted him. I went into this game. I thought Clemson was going to win. Dabo's a good coach. But I think the NIL, the transfer portal stuff is just going to slowly kill him.
I mean, they didn't play bad, though.
He's gonna have these good teams where it's like, oh, they could, but they're just not going to have that talent where they went out and get top tier running back or whatever. They get that one wide receiver that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not going to happen for him. But he could change,
He has been taking a couple people this year, but like you said, is it too little too late? We don't know. Danny, what impressed you most about the Longhorns last Saturday? Did Quinn Ewers look like a quarterback that could lead them to a national championship, or is that defense just that tough?
No, I just think they played a very complete game, and they were able to run the ball very well. They had a couple big runs. I think their defense kind of stirred it up a little bit, but I'm going to be honest, I'm still not impressed with Texas, and it's a little disappointing that Clemson was kind of down. Like, they were down 14 like all game, and it would have been cool if they could have kept it within 7 and maybe tied it a couple times, but that was sadly the only competitive game. Indiana, I knew might get out of hand, and Penn State, I knew might get out of hand, but I thought the Texas-Clemson game be right there, and I thought Tennessee, Ohio State would be right there. But, yeah, Texas is able to run the ball. I don't know. I think Notre Dame's got a better shot at winning the Natty than Texas.
Their path is much easier.
I have a hypothetical for Danny. It's not really hypothetical. It's just a question. So you're saying Texas hasn't looked good all year. Do you think that's because Quinn Ewers hasn't had that big, 400-yard, 4-touchdown game consistently where it's like, oh,
he's
going to throw for 210. And
the thing about Quinn is he's a great quarterback, but we talk about him like he's a top 3 quarterback. And then he comes out and he plays like a top 20 quarterback, but it's just kind of like I don't know what all the hype's about. He's a great quarterback and he can easily win a natty, but it's just that top tier talk. I think he's like the Penn State of tiers for quarterbacks. He's really fucking good, but let's chill out on it a little bit. Like,
He hasn't shown his full potential yet.
Yeah, it feels, and it's got to be there. But I mean,
His 2 best games of his career is against Alabama both times.
Yeah.
Last year on the road, and then the year before at home when they lost.
didn't he get hurt like super early?
He got hurt, I think, about halftime of 2 years ago.
If even, but yeah,
Or maybe third quarter. It was later in the game, and everyone was like, if they had him, they were going to beat Alabama.
dog. I feel like he got hurt like first quarter.
I don't think it was that early, but they're a force to be reckoned with. They have 2 running backs that could easily break out a 50-yard run if you need them to against most defenses. We haven't really seen any defense besides Ohio State and Oregon that have looked as dominant as theirs at times. Maybe Georgia you can throw in there too. There's not a ton of holes, and I think Clemson did a really good job at kind of exposing them a couple times, where we haven't really seen many teams do that. I think Georgia they put up like 17 in the first game, or 31 in the first game. A lot of that was their defense getting turnovers close to the end zone. But I don't know. It's interesting. Like I said, Texas, they have their game that Ohio State just put out. They have that capability. It's just, is it with Arch Manning or is it with Quinn Ewers, or is it just defense getting a couple of touchdowns and that's their Iowa to a higher degree?
Yeah,
it's interesting. The big one that we thought going into the weekend turned into a bloodbath. It was a scarlet out for a reason, because that was the blood of all the Tennessee fans. They're walking down the stairs. They made an impressive showing for a road team. They had about probably 25, 30,000 fans in there. That's the most I can remember an away team having. Maybe Michigan, but even that game's usually sold out, much by the Ohio State faithful. They beat Tennessee 42-17. Nico played his ass off. I will give him all the credit in the world. That kid is tough. He took shots in the game left and right and found a way to stay in most of the game. But got to talk about the winners. Buckeyes finally played their full potential all 3 phases. The defense looked incredible. Their best game. Did you know they've only let up one time a team score over 18 points all year?
Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Wow.
On the road.
Wow.
I think they play Oregon.
I
think. I'm not sure on that.
That's a good fun fact. Good tidbit.
Yeah, so watch out. Watch that number.
I believe Nebraska scored 17, Tennessee scored 17, and I think that's only 2 teams to put up 17 or more besides Oregon. And that's crazy. This defense is awesome. This is the best defense they've had since 2019 by far.
Oh, yeah.
We finally saw the defensive line for Ohio State play like their recruiting rankings show they are.
They got to the pass rush. They finally got pass rush.
And they were able to wrap them up.
Run.
They have not been able to do that the last 3 years.
No.
Get to the quarterback in big games and sack them. JTT did it 2 years ago against Penn State.
He's done it against Penn State, but every other game.
Other than that, he hasn't done anything. Unless it's like a bottom-tiered Big Ten team.
Dude, even then, it's like not even like what it should be.
He might have like a sack against Purdue or Maryland or someone. Him and Jack Sawyer both. He's played great all year, but they never stepped up in big moments in any big games all year until this past weekend, and I love to see that.
Cody Simon has been outstanding all year, and he had another big one.
Yep, Leighton Ransom. He was great.
Yeah, he's a
Sonny
hitter.
Styles. Sonny Styles hit on that little check down pass.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
That's a barbecue chicken play. But, yeah, I mean, watching the game, I knew when they threw the deep ball to JJ early and connected on that, I knew. And then we came out and we got to stop. I was like, oh, yeah. Neyland North, get the fuck out of here. Plant the flag, get the fuck out of here. Plant the flag up your fucking ass, you hillbilly fucks.
Whoa, easy.
All this SEC talk, it's 2 teams that run the SEC. Okay, quit riding on your fucking when Michigan wins the Natty, Ohio State fans. Okay, cool. Like I don't take any credit for that in the Big Ten. I don't care. The one thing Tennessee did, their fans delivered. Their fans, whatever their fans said, they came to Columbus. That's the most. It did enough to embarrass me a little bit. The worst part though, capacity does not affect the scoreboard. So take your little goalpost route. They used that goalpost route that they drew up. That was their exit plan after the third quarter. They got the hell out of Columbus. Nico played great, but I mean, he played great as in terms of heart, but in terms of like execution, I mean, he threw for what 104 yards.
I mean, like as
heart,
he had no help. He lost his starting wide receiver, both starting running backs gone.
Yeah, that was rough.
Their only offense was tempo and him running his ass off.
Yep.
And he took guys, hit first downs. He scored a touchdown, hit the LeBron pose. You were down 18. I mean, maybe don't do that next time, but I understand. You feel like you're the only one doing work on the project and you're getting the A+ for everyone else.
Yeah.
Maybe not the A+.
I did not
turn it in late.
A passing grade.
Yeah.
I did not think it would go like that, but when we hit the pass early, I knew we were in for a good game.
I'm sorry. What position did you play Saturday?
Heart. I had heart.
Okay. Yeah.
I had Twitter thumbs.
Yep. Trevor.
In which I replied to everybody, suck my balls, Twitter.
He's the lieutenant, or what is it? Whatever Kirk Herbstreit called him. The fringe. I can't remember.
Lunatic fringe.
I'm not
lunatic fringe. You are. You are.
Lunatic fringe.
No, I'm all in.
No, you're the lunatic.
I'm on the fringe. I never showed any
lunatic fringe.
I never was scared. I was in.
That's wrong.
He said he's scared. He said he was scared 2 episodes ago. I'm scared for Tennessee.
Yeah, I respect them, but I wasn't like gonna not be a fan or cheer for a loss. I was on it. I was standing my ground. Go look at my freaking Twitter every day. On it. You're not on it if you think you're gonna like Oregon week. Bring them on. After that game, bring them on.
Trevor, your thoughts on the Buckeyes and where do the Vols go from here?
Yeah, I was texting my Tennessee insider, and all week I was saying, "Hey, watch out! If Ohio State throws it early, that's where it can get rough. If they just start airing it out, throwing it up to Jeremiah Smith, Egbuka, Tate, just getting those guys in a rhythm, call it. It's over." But I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought they were going to stay low, Carson Beck out for the playoffs. Okay.
Thank you, Trey, for
Thank you,
this is our
Trey.
Georgia insider, Trey Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Dog.
Did you see Kyle Schwarber at the bowling alley?
He saw? That's cool.
That's the rumor.
He's probably home for Christmas.
Anyways, I was thinking that Ohio State was going to go ground and pound early. They're going to make it a fist fight, then air it out when they needed to. But no, they just aired it out immediately. So that's all it took. I put money on Tennessee right before the game. I got excited. I saw a few edits. I was like, man, these go hard. And then I saw the guys out there dancing without shirts on. And I felt kind of uncomfortable with my bet, but it's all right.
Can someone tell me the last time that taking your shirts off when everyone calls you, it's going to be cold, and then they take their shirts off and work out before the game? When does that ever work out for someone?
Yeah, they were playing for Twitter.
Just felt like they were worried about the wrong things.
It's like the Dolphins where what's his name? McDaniels wore the shirt that says it's too cold out here, or it's not cold out here or something.
Yeah. It's always cold.
Yeah. No matter who you are, you're cold. It's just how do you tolerate it? Do you act like,
or do you let it affect you? That's the thing. You can be
it's like a pick-me girl.
Just go out here and play. I'm not going to use it as an excuse.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I like the cold. I'll play in this. I like the cold. It's like no one likes the cold.
Exactly. I hate that. Nobody would rather play in the cold. That's why I'm glad from here on out we're indoors or we're in warm climates.
Maybe your 70-year-old grandfather back in the 40s, maybe he would like to play in the cold.
I think they were full of it. I think they just sucked at passing, and that was an excuse. Like, now we have an excuse why we're not going to throw the ball.
Possibly. Danny, who was your player of the game for the Buckeyes on Saturday night?
I mean, it's awesome when Will Howard's able to play quarterback and not be concussed. That's the game changer. Because Jeremiah Smith, he's going to be there every game. It's the ball going to get. Will Howard can deliver those throws, man. we're in for anybody in the country. I'm not going to say we can beat anybody, or we can beat anybody in the country with those throws. But I just love that our game plan, like Trevor said, I was scared. Oh, well, I would say I was anticipating run, pass when we need to, and we'll connect and we'll
What
win.
they've played most of the year. That's how they played the most of the year, except for the Oregon game.
Right. I mean,
Right.
even our scores, like even against like some teams where you think, oh, they could put up 60, we put up, we win the game 31-7, and it's like
35-7.
Yeah, or 35-7, and it's just like,
Does any part of you think they've been saving stuff?
I think that's why they lost to Michigan.
Yeah, I think
I like that conspiracy theory where they didn't want to show a whole bunch of stuff. They didn't want to show their cards.
Do you think they were
going to make it if they lost to Michigan? And their coaches don't care if they lose to Michigan.
I don't think it's that they don't care. It's just,
I think they don't care.
They didn't want to show it. I don't think they're going out there being like, well, it's okay if we lose this game.
I think they overthink Michigan.
Well, Ryan Day seems to be very okay with losing it. So.
Hey.
I don't think he's ever okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know. He is also seemed pretty okay with it.
He's not okay.
Who was your player of the game for the Buckeyes Saturday?
Me?
Yeah.
It's got to be Will Howard, because when he throws for 300 yards, you're like, damn, that team probably the best in the country, because you're putting an offense on that one of the best, probably the best defense in the country. It's like, well, it's gonna be tough to beat.
It's the only second time he's thrown for 300 yards in a game this year.
Other than that, it's a complete game. There wasn't one guy that was like, Jeremiah Smith had a good game, but he's very all over the place.
That's what I love.
There's one of those games where you watch and you're like, yeah, this is cool. They're all doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Normally when you throw for 300 yards, it spreads out. Like what did Emeka had like 3 touchdowns against Oregon or something crazy?
Yeah. Was it 3 or 2? He
I
had
don't
3
know.
against Iowa.
I mean, Smith has over 1,000 yards receiving now, and Emeka's right there with like the high 800s. Like, it's awesome because it's like he's so like quietly just yards. He's so productive. He just doesn't always catch the touchdowns or the wow.
If they win the Rose Bowl, he'll set the all-time record, I fully believe, for most receiving yards by a Buckeye ever. Right now, he's like 200 away.
Oh,
career-wise. Yeah, he's only like 200 yards away. I don't think he's going to get it all against Oregon, but he has a good chance to set the record if they win on next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. My player of the game, it was everyone on that defensive front. I was, like I said earlier, I'm so happy. They finally got pressure on a pretty solid Tennessee line. Like they've been good all year. They've got a lot of push. They're averaging like 130 rushing yards a game, which in the SEC too, that's tough. I don't care who they're playing against. Jack Sawyer, he had 2 sacks. JT got back there a lot. They had a lot of younger guys too, which I love to see. A lot of sophomores, a couple freshmen make plays. Something you loved and you've been waiting to see if you're an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, they played Matthews a lot. I feel like the rotation was there. Like, I don't know what it is about Ryan Day, but he gets to the playoffs. It's like, oh, I remember how to coach. And then he's in the regular season. He's like, don't ball with it.
Because it's the Michigan like mental block.
Even games that aren't Michigan, he doesn't like. Even the regular season games, it's like it feels like we're just winning because we're better and we're executing. But it's like in the playoffs, it feels like we got a coach that's like coming up with things that aren't just we're better, but we're being put in better situations.
That's why I've been on the guy's side the entire time.
He just has a Michigan problem. But at what point does the Michigan problem start outweighing things? That's where I was standing. But Michigan's not the worry anymore this year. We worry about that next year.
You reevaluate in the offseason. Right now, you got to focus on what's next, and that's Oregon. You lost to them by 1 point at third place.
Yeah.
In week 6. Yeah. Like they're offensive pass interference away from potentially setting up a game-winning field goal. I know with the kickers that we've had the last God knows how many years.
It's not about that though. It was the execution getting to that point.
Yeah.
If your kicker shanks it, then he shanks it. But
like they had play calls to get down there that were perfect.
Yep.
Until they were out of timeouts and they had to get like 15 yards. And it's exciting. It's exciting to get this rematch. The first ever game I can remember watching, 2010 Rose Bowl with Terrell Pryor in the Rose Bowl against Oregon, and the Buckeyes pulled that out.
It was like 26-19 or something.
Yeah. And the first ever national championship I watched of Ohio State's was Ohio State, Oregon, 2014. 2015 was the actual year. It's awesome. It's kind of coming full circle that you always see this team in bigger moments, like in core memories, at least for me watching Ohio State. So it's cool to have like the heartbreaker. I mean, that was your first true like out west trip you took.
Yeah.
Was to Oregon. And it was a great game.
Yeah, great. Hopefully
the
Seattle's nice this year.
Yeah, the Bastard Wise Dog coming in with a comment. Ryan Day will be coaching the Bears next season, win or lose national championship. I fully disagree with that.
Who the fuck is this loser?
I think he's fine. He's going to be there next year. He's a great coach. You can say what you want. You can say if he's got a mental block. But I agree with you. He's got to figure something out with the Michigan game. But regardless of that, he's a great coach. He's a great offensive play caller. It's just sometimes he gets overwhelmed, and he's human. He makes mistakes. And sometimes it takes more people longer to figure it out. If you're not patient enough for it,
It's quite a
it can
while.
bite you in the ass.
I will say, though, I was thinking back to previous seasons. We've lost the last 2 games of the season ever since he started losing to Michigan. This was the first time we've lost to Michigan and then won the next game since 21. So in 21 we lose and we go and beat Utah. But after that, it was 22 lose and then lose to Georgia. That's a shitty way to go. And then 23 you lose and then you lose to Mizzou. It's like, dog, it just feels good to have a rebound in the season, not be completely over.
Last year was such a unique scenario for him.
I know, but it still doesn't help.
I agree, but you got half your team out, sitting out. You lost your starting quarterback to the transfer portal. Your backup that you trained 3 weeks to start against Missouri goes out in the first drive. And then you have Lincoln Kienholz, who hasn't even fucking threw a ball all year last year. That was weird to see him come into the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, Julian Sand freaking underthrew that one. It's just like
good signs for next year.
You know what though? It's so cold. What? It just killed me because Ryan is, like I said, he's such a different coach in the playoffs. He's better in the playoffs, which I'll take, but it's so confusing. It's like, dog, can you just coach like this from like late August all the way? Like, why do you not hit puberty until like December?
I saw a comment on Twitter earlier today. It was like, no one is a bigger bully than Ohio State after a loss, like a big loss, because they'll take their shots. You can out physical them a game, but when they get knocked down and they come back and they swing their like Superman punch, to quote Roman Reigns.
Not what I thought you were going to say.
Acknowledge him.
I thought you were going to swing something else.
No one hits harder.
No.
They might lose the game, like the Georgia game a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that was the best game we've seen.
Nobody was expecting that swing.
Right. No one. That was incredible. Offense that game, defense sucked, but offensively.
And this year we have a defense.
Yeah, they have their defense. Imagine C.J. Stroud. If he was on this team, man.
Oh my God, that would be unfair.
Good Lord, it'd be awesome. But unfortunately, you can't have
35 times a game at least.
Easily. Yeah, it was awesome. I had a fantastic time watching this game. We live streamed the first half, and then people at the watch party were uncomfortable with the live stream, so we cut it off.
Were they?
It was me. I was uncomfortable.
Yep.
Will there be a live stream for January 1st or no?
I would like there to be.
Why don't we live stream like January 6th?
My drive to school?
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. The holiday? Yeah, we had fun. Every time Ohio State made a big play, I'd kind of stand over top of Connor and scream in his face. So it was fun.
Yeah, Connor. I don't feel bad for Connor. I feel bad for Gavin and Brock.
Let's make fun of him. Let's make fun of him right now because he can't defend himself.
Yeah,
Right.
Connor's a bandwagon, and he picked a school. He's like, oh, look at me, I'm country. Shut the fuck up. You can go somewhere. You can have a good time. I love Tennessee. It's a great school until they play Ohio State, but that's not fair. I'm such a big Ohio State fan. I think if my own grandma put on a Tennessee shirt, I'd probably give her the bird. But
A little Tennessee talk, huh? I think they're just early. I think their next
they're
2
great.
years they could be a force in the SEC.
they'll be
I
back.
think Nico coming in as this redshirt freshman is kind of, and we'll see what we get with him. But next year he's going to be a little better. The next year a little better.
Yeah.
I made a prediction in August or July. I said Tennessee would be a top 5 seed in the playoffs, whether this year or next year. They have so much talent. I think Nico has the potential to be a top 3 quarterback in college football. It's just he needs time and he needs weapons around him. And he had good running backs this year, but he didn't really have playmakers like we saw on the other side of the ball in Columbus.
Where's Iowa?
They have the potential.
Yeah, I love Heupel. I mean, Tennessee's been like, oh yeah, facts. First smart thing this guy's ever said.
Wait, what about the 6'7" punter?
Ohio State recruited a decent kicker. They were trying to get the one from what school is that? Was it Eastern Michigan? Georgia State? One of the smaller schools. That the guy was like kicking 60-yard field goals and drilling them.
Where's Iowa?
You got to have the guys that have the nuts. Guys that aren't scared to kick fucking 60-yard field goals in cold weather. Like Cade York.
Iowa's
Midwest.
west of Illinois, south of
Look up on Google Iowa, and then there should be a map.
like Nebraska is over to the west of them.
Yeah. It's okay. We all have geography class. Well, most
What is north of Iowa? Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hat. Danny, who is on your poo-poo list for this week out of all of college football?
Poo-poo list.
All of college football.
Poo-poo
Poo-poo list.
list.
I don't know if I have a poo-poo list.
No Tennessee fans. No.
I got my get back with them. I'm cool. I won't think of Tennessee for the rest of the year.
Are you on the hype train of the fuck Kirk Herbstreit?
Oh yeah, we got to talk about that.
No,
That's what I was going to bring up.
This guy has been the most unbiased Buckeye fan his whole life. I don't know why. His son goes to Michigan. He's not going to play. He's going to ride the bit. Like support your kid. His one kid played at Clemson, never fucking played. His other kid plays at Ohio State, never fucking plays. His next kid is going to play at Michigan. I'll never dunk somebody for going D1 and riding the bench. Rock on, brother. Now if he was going to play, then yeah. Like, if his guy was a 3-star or better.
You got no other offers.
Yeah. Like, come on, man. Get your kid to go to Ohio State. But he's going to go up to Michigan. They gave him a scholarship. Like, I don't know why we're all dogging Herbie. He's not my favorite Buckeye ever, but he's never been. Like, he's just not a passionate fan. But no.
He's unbiased. Unlike some people on College Game Day. You're going to get people that are unbiased.
That by now. If they're hating because of this instant, then you're just weird. Like,
yeah. Trevor, you saw the stuff with Shannon Sharp and Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah. I think Shannon Sharp and Kirk Herbstreit should be at the next Jake Paul fight as one of the prelims. What's his
Rough and Rowdy?
Yeah.
That probably fits more the vibe.
What he said about like the first take thing, like but that's their job on that talk show is to bring up crazy points and debate and yell at each other. It's stupid. But Shannon Sharp getting mad about it was very funny.
That's the softest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's so funny.
What? You talk about that again, we're gonna have problems. You're gonna have the ESPN bosses stop me. It's like, what are you talking about?
But yeah, okay, let's change the topic.
It's just those.
Thanks, Jerome. Jerome says CFB Don equals woman magnet right now.
I'm feeling myself, man. I had an insane Saturday. Listen what my Saturday was.
Tell him, Danny.
Yeah, tell him.
Louisville beats Florida State to open up the day in basketball by like 20. Ohio State, right before kickoff of the big playoff game, beats number 4 Kentucky by like 20.
Bang.
Wow.
And Ohio State, Tennessee in football, breaking helmets literally just, oh my God. An awesome day. The best day that I've had since Ohio State beat Penn State, and then later that night, Louisville demolished Clemson. the day I had Saturday, and then that day, whenever both my teams can play football, and then one of my rivals loses, like Kentucky, chef kiss.
Hey, Danny, have you ever seen the movie Fever Pitch?
No.
You need to watch it. Because, just to explain your dynamic, if you ever got a woman, that would be it. So I need you to watch this movie just so you understand what I'm saying.
Fever pick.
Oh, it's when, not if. Come on. Be nice to the guy.
Fever pick.
Just, yeah, it's kind of thing where you need to see it before you believe it,
And
But
I had to go with
you
that.
too. I don't discriminate. Not our girlfriend virgins. But
What are you talking about?
there felt like there was something else I wanted to talk about. You guys have anything else on?
We can do a little look ahead.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Looking on to the next round of the playoffs, quarterfinal.
Can I just say the first thing that I saw when I looked at these?
Shoot.
So I'm looking at all the games, all the spreads. Texas is favored by 14.5.
Dear Lord.
That's crazy for a second round playoff game.
Big
Understandable, but that's crazy.
I'm taking ASU points. That's insane.
You know what's crazy though is every favorite this weekend covered.
But well, the Texas game was a little closer.
Yeah,
Yes.
Texas closed
Notre
at like
Dame game was
8.5. They won by 14. I think Notre Dame was 8.5. They finished it
10.
9-10. So other games though, I thought the Tennessee one was a lock. And I thought Clemson had a really good shot to keep it close within the number. I was wrong.
We were close.
Onion.
We were close to close.
Yeah. I believe Danny's bracket is the only one that's perfect.
Yeah, I thought I didn't know ball.
You don't.
Apparently, I don't.
Yeah.
Ohio State.
My phantom picks were
National
crazy.
Championship.
Uh,
We're still riding,
Danny's
boys.
perfect right now. But yeah, next round is Ohio State, Oregon, and the Rose Bowl.
God
I think
damn
Ohio
it!
State's favored 3.5, correct?
I thought freaking. I think it's 2.5. AJ. I thought I picked Notre Dame over Georgia.
Yeah, he did text me Thursday night. Georgia over Notre Dame. That was the last one he did pick, though. I remember all of his national championships and all that. Arizona State, Texas. They will be playing in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta on Saturday afternoon. Actually, that might be the noon game.
No, it's. Is it?
They have to put that at noon.
Yeah, no, we're the afternoon
1,
game.
1 p.m.
Yeah.
Rose Bowl's 5. Night
Sugar
game
Bowl
is-
should be the night game. So Georgia Notre Dame will be the night game
Georgia Notre Dame's 8:45.
in the Sugar Bowl. That's probably my favorite matchup to watch next week.
Notre Dame game is gonna fuck me.
I think that's going to be like the best matchup. But the most exciting thing for me is can Ashton Jeanty run through a Penn State defense?
I think he can, but that is the question.
That's what I'm
think-
going to be looking for.
We don't know.
We're gonna have back-to-back just amazing games probably.
Watch, they're
Probably
probably
very
breaking blowouts.
With Ohio State Oregon as your midday game, and then nightcap is. God, I hope Ohio State beats Oregon. That way, I can have the heart to keep watching football.
They have their best shot they can.
Lunatic fringe right there.
The lunatic fringe. Look at his hair. Look at his hair. You got a flag in your background. For people that don't know, that's your living room. You got rocking chairs that are lawn chairs or patio chairs you're sitting in.
These are not patio chairs.
Hmm.
These are meant for indoor. I got them at IKEA. They're meant for college dorms.
What's the IKEA Swedish for? I love
IKEA.
you.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
That's what
but
the
they're
range
not
told me.
fucking Swedish.
That's what the range told me.
The Sweden.
Donuts.
Donuts. Do we?
Yeah, why did you guys get the other one out?
Because we didn't have enough seats for everyone. Because your couch is so small.
Bring a lawn chair, man. Hey,
I
do
did.
you know what the price of couches right now? You got to budget yourself.
Oh, you budget yourself.
I do. Look at my couch.
No, what were we arguing about last night, Danny, on Twitter?
Oh, the playoffs.
Oh yeah, how you hate football.
I don't hate football. I think it's oversaturated if you have too much of bad product. That's what I was saying.
Oh,
AJ
oversaturated.
went semi-viral.
I did.
The
On that Joel
tweet popped
Black
off. Yeah.
I checked it back like the next morning, and it said like 300 likes. I go, what the hell? Out of all the things I tweet, that's the thing that goes. And
It's
it's
crazy.
funny. I had like 60 replies to that, 300 likes.
I
wish
kept tagging you and be like, "This guy sucks."
I want to try to screenshot it and find it. Danny, talk about what you thought the opinion was.
Yeah, so AJ's pretty much like, I hate football. I don't like all these matchups where teams get blown out. There were blowouts in the top 4. There's going to be blowouts. You're going to have times where one coaching staff just
Yeah, but those teams deserve to be there.
Cincinnati did not deserve to be there.
They did. No other team had a better resume that year than those 4 teams.
That's what I'm saying. No other teams this year have a better resume. You said it yourself. Bama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, they all
I'm
lost.
not going to sweat the fact that they should be in competing for a national championship when their schedule is as soft as it is. 11-1 teams like that, like Indiana, they don't have a realistic shot at this national championship. They're gonna lose.
Okay.
And don't give me that shit. That's why you play the games. That's why you play the games. No one will win the national championship.
Let's say beat Michigan. It's not always about winning the whole thing. It's about winning a couple.
I'm winning a couple what?
Listen, I have something. Hand raised on the Microsoft Teams button. All right. Yeah, Indiana did not have a shot at winning at all, but they deserved a spot in the playoff.
Yes. Because otherwise,
Yeah, they went 11-1. Their only loss was to a top 3 team in the country, realistically.
I'm not disagreeing they shouldn't have been in with a 12-team playoff. I'm disagreeing that I don't like the 12-team playoff because it gives those teams a shot to win a national championship when they don't have a shot to win the national championship.
I know,
They'll never
but
win.
Ohio State had no business being in the playoffs, but they are one of the best
I
teams.
agree.
Right? They're one of the best.
I don't
teams.
think they should have a shot to fight for a national
They can't
championship
win
when they
Natty.
won.
So why do you not like this 12-team playoff? You're looking at like the 12
Because
seed.
I like the value of the regular season more than anything else. And when you lose 2 games,
season still matters.
No, it does not. Not as much.
No.
No. You're saying because
Yes.
the only reason those games
We're
matter.
still playing hard because in November it's normally down to like 6 teams. Now, like almost every team that was ranked.
Thank you. My whole thing is when you have teams. I messed up my whole screen now. Look, he's frozen. My whole thing. What is happening? Oh, I gotta fix. Did I get it? Oh my god! It's so
I'll talk right now. So I'm kind of on your side, AJ, where it's you're oversaturating the playoff to where you're gonna have these blowout games. Teams have no shot. But what's the point in not having them? I guess. Like they're in there. They played a season that if there's 12 teams that could be in, they deserve it. What's the downside of taking 4 teams out? Like, yeah, you're gonna have better games, but I mean,
Why
more
can't I find
football.
this freaking tweet?
I'm on your tweet right now.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah. Do you want me to say it?
Oh, wait. I think I just found it. My whole thing was I value the regular season much more than where I think as bad of a loss as like Tennessee losing Arkansas. I think that should eliminate a team from competing for a national championship. I think a loss to Michigan for Ohio State should eliminate them from competing for a national championship. I think when you look down at Oregon, they went 12-0 in the regular season. They handled business every single week. That I value the regular season. I think college football comes down to it at the purest form is beating your rivals and tradition. I think they going 12-0 is more of a national championship resume than a team winning a fake playoff.
Okay.
Danny, your thoughts?
Can I talk now? Or am I still muted because you are a pussy and you don't want to let me talk?
You weren't letting me talk.
Fuck, I was talking. You weren't letting me get my. I've never muted you. That's a
You can't.
bitch made
I have the
move.
power. I have the power.
I'm a commissioner. I'm a commissioner.
Did you just turn into a lobster? It's the lunatic fringe lobster. That's a mascot.
Listen, if we.
Go ahead, Danny.
All right, Danny.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button.
I hope
Go
you
ahead,
don't
I'm
get
done.
any Christmas presents.
What did he say?
I think he said he hopes that you don't get any Christmas presents.
Go ahead. I won't mute you again. I promise.
We'll see. So, if you can sit here right now and say Ohio State can win a natty, right? Why do you have to punish a team so much
This is awkward.
when they win or they lose any given Saturday, right? Why can't the best team still have a shot?
Because they
Because
lost.
they already lost the game that should
They
just
lost.
One game. It happens.
the
They're
point.
18.
I
that's
think one game, that bad of a game, should keep you from winning a national championship.
that's so stupid because there's no
That's not the
there's
bad
no
loss that they should do.
there's levels to the scheduling. You got some teams that don't ever get a chance to, like, if they lose their one game, their schedule's so easy where they can easily win out. And you got other teams that have 2 or 3 top 5 games and they slip up one other Saturday. They already have 3 other gauntlets. If they lose 2 of those, that's 3 losses. They're staying out. That's stupid. That's not fair.
Exactly.
That's what you get for putting
Guess what?
20 teams on
Alabama
top.
just had that.
Yeah, and then they lost 3 times, though. They lost to multiple bad teams.
Exactly. And they're not competing for a national championship. Trevor,
Yeah,
go ahead.
but you can't. In most years, Ohio State's season this year, they lost one bad game and they lost another game to the best team in college football, and they're out. But Indiana can lose the only game that they really even have a chance of losing. They lose it, but the other 11 are so easy that they win out. It's stupid. There's no way to evenly schedule teams. So when you break it down to one loss can keep you out, it's not fair to the teams that have tough schedules to be left out because one loss fucks them and a undefeated Cincinnati can get in. It's stupid.
I don't think it's stupid.
It
When it
is.
came down to it, no. College football is its best in the regular season when every single game mattered. Every single game. You didn't have where you get to lose to Virginia Tech in week 3. You didn't have where you could lose to Oklahoma in week 11 or whatever it was for
We
Alabama.
can lose to Virginia Tech week 3. We lost in week 2.
Oh, big deal. Ooh, 1 week. I'm saying that I don't think that game should go unrecognized. Like Notre Dame, a loss to NIU that bad, awful. And if they end up winning the national championship,
It's still a great team come December.
I know it
Why do you
is.
punish them?
But guess what? They lost.
And they got
their
punished.
game. How? They're in the playoff. They had the
Yeah,
one of
but
the
they
highest
didn't
seeds.
die.
They got to host the playoff game, which they were going to do anyway
That's like
if they
the
went
team
12-0.
win.
What?
They kept winning.
Yeah, good job. You're in the 12-team playoff because it allows everyone to get in. I didn't like it.
You
This
had
wasn't-
some teams that would go 13-0 and not even make the playoffs last year with Florida State.
Right?
You
Well,
need more room.
Because they lost their quarterback, their starting quarterback. And
They
I think
won
they
every
should have got
game.
him.
I thought going undefeated was what mattered. Go
It
back
is.
5 minutes in the episode. You said the team that goes undefeated.
I agree.
You can't even keep track of what you're saying.
Listen here. I was arguing for Florida State to get in last year. Florida State should have gotten the playoff last year over Alabama. What?
Tweet it, Twitter famous.
I
were just
did.
saying
I did all last year.
That teams that go undefeated should make the playoffs. But you, in your format that you're jerking off to, did not allow every undefeated team to get in.
You're,
What do you mean?
you're right.
I'll go back 10 minutes.
All I want is the BCS. I want the BCS back. Fuck the 14 playoff.
Oh my! God,
You
every
know,
time
I have
Josh
a middle ground. I think
he takes this as a biblical note.
a 4-team BCS would be good.
I
I think
agree.
that's
Rank it with the
that's like
BCS.
the perfect number.
Don't give me
Because
the
your
BS.
top 4
about
teams are going to
just,
be. Your top 4 teams. That's like those are the teams that are going to win it.
yeah. There's usually only 4 or 5 teams that can even compete for a
They
national
can.
championship every year anyway. Or realistically, can win it.
So the
I'm
12
fine with
team
4.
is here
I'm
now.
fine with 2.
I like it because there's more football, but I get what you're saying where it's the games don't. It's like we're gonna have this SMU Penn State where it's like SMU's gonna play a great team. They could pull off the upset, but what happens the next round? You're gonna get killed by whoever the next good team is.
Exactly.
You're not gonna have the whole run into the playoffs, run to the national championship. You could with a 2-loss Ohio State. That could be your Cinderella story. And it's basically the only option for one. But they lost 2 in the regular season. They should be killed.
I don't want
the
the
fact that
computer
Ohio's-
deciding to hate, though. I want the kids to be able to play. And I don't think having a field of 134 teams that it should be narrowed down to just 4.
Why?
I don't think it's so far-fetched that a top 10 team can't win a natty. I think it's pretty doable.
How many of the teams in the playoff do you think could win the natty? This
Georgia,
year.
Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, Penn State. I'd say there's 5.
Didn't say Oregon.
Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame. Still got to 5.
I think there's 6 he's counting.
Yeah, I'm also confused on the math here.
Ohio State, Oregon,
Yeah.
Penn
Texas,
State,
Georgia,
Notre
Penn
Dame,
State, Notre Dame, 6.
Georgia. I think Tennessee could have. Like if you would have asked me right when it all
No
started, I think Tennessee had a shot.
Nope.
It's
Oh, they did have a
oversaturated.
shot because they were literally in the playoffs. So don't cry about it. And then go
That's
watch
not-
Josh Payton.
That's the point of the argument.
If you think for a second they had a shot, you think for a second Boise State can go out and win a national championship because they're in the playoff.
Did I ever
That's
say
fine.
Boise? No, I
That's fine.
quite literally did not
You
say
just
Boise.
said
just
the
said that.
reason Tennessee had a shot to win a national championship is because they're in the playoff. Meaning, you think just because Boise State's in the playoff means they can win a national championship.
Technically do have a
They're
shot.
not. They're
Yeah,
going to lose
yeah.
one of their next 2 games. If they win this one magically, good for them. They're going to lose to whoever to next.
Boise State is just a lottery ticket. They have a shot
Exactly.
to win. Will they?
Right.
Never. Some
Well, that's
loser from way
They have
over
to be in
in
the lottery.
They don't have the personnel to do this. They don't.
So apparently they deserve their way in. They have 1 loss.
Would you rather Indiana go in there, have a 11-1 season, right? They go in the playoff. They play Notre Dame. They get dominated for 4 quarters, and they lose by 10 to make it look a little better. Or do you think they should go play in a New Year's Six bowl game against another team, maybe like Boise State, for a Sugar Bowl? What do you think's better for that program?
A shot at an natty.
Wrong.
Hmm.
An unrealistic shot. They don't have a shot. They don't have a path. They don't have the talent to
Maybe
do it.
that's the thing. Maybe you're just a scared little fucking.
What am I scared of?
I'd rather go
Reality?
fight the best
I think
dude
you're scared of
like
reality.
Ashley than not even be able to step in a ring if I call
You're living
myself
in
a
La
fighter.
La Land. You're thinking they can, butterflies and rainbows. Everything's possible. Magic, magic, magic. Get off your fucking high horse and look in the real world. They're
I'm
not
sorry.
possible to win a national championship.
I think I hear yesterday's episode.
Guess what? Cincinnati, their best shot winning was with 4 teams. Same for UCF. When they went undefeated, their best shot at a national championship was in 4 teams where you can maybe get an upset in round 1. And then one game, guess what? Anything happens.
TCU is
Okay, but it's
that's
not
the
up to
perfect
me how the
example.
game's.
TCU is it.
I'm just saying.
I'll say
Go ahead.
this. I think 8 was perfect. I think 8 teams is perfect. But I'm not going to
fine with
cry
8.
that 12 has a shot. I'm not going to cry. I think that's crazy to cry for more football.
I'm not crying. I'm just saying I don't think ever in a
I
million
think-
years we'll have 12 teams capable of winning a national championship. And
I
why?
think-
Well, then why are we giving the false narrative that they can?
I think that Alabama had a shot. If the A game that they can play, and we've seen it, can win the whole thing. The only thing is
They
they
lost
weren't.
3 games.
It doesn't matter if
They
the A
don't
game is
deserve
that good.
a shot.
I know, but you're saying teams that can win a natty. I'm saying if you just start the season right now and say teams that can make 4 games in a row, Alabama could have won the natty, so there's 8.
Yeah, they could have. But guess what? They lost 3 games in the regular season, so they shouldn't even have a shot. That's why they didn't make 12-team playoff.
Okay, I'd just rather it be played out on the field than sit and wonder if the 2018 Ohio State
I agree.
team. Yeah, so just
You
play
had,
it on the
12,
field.
you had 12 games to prove you can win a
I
national
think where
championship.
people like you are coming from is you were anticipating great playoff matchups.
No,
with
I wasn't. I was not. I was expecting
I'm
blowouts
not saying
this
you.
week.
I'm saying people that are making your argument, your stupid little fucking gay, stupid argument. I think that those people were anticipating great game after great game after great game. In the 14 playoff, I don't even think there was a single year where all 3 were great games.
Yeah, because guess what? When the elite are the elite, no one can beat them. No one can touch them. So why are we putting 12 teams in? Just giving them a shot that they might be able to have a shot to keep it close. Even if you expand it to 64.
I don't know. I don't even know. When you made that tweet, I felt sorry for you. I felt sorry for your
Sorry for me? 300 people agree with me on that.
I like Josh Payne so much that I'm going to take my love.
I have felt the exact same
I'm
reason.
going to push it down the drain. I complain about a game.
I told you junior year, 4 teams is perfect. You looked at me.
Junior year.
We were in Rentner's class talking about this. I said 4 teams is fine. Why expand it to 6? Why expand it to 8? Most years, there's only 4
football.
teams. Have your football. Guess what? If we get
It's the
rid
same
of the
amount.
playoffs games we just saw, you turn them into actual bowl games where people can actually win a championship when they're not going to win one anyway.
Bowl games don't matter.
It's the same amount of football.
Because the narrative was pushed that they don't matter from the rest of the media because of it all came down to who's in.
Come up for air, buddy. I think that more playoff games are awesome.
Why?
Sorry. Sue me because I like football, and you just
You're still going to play football.
Games, that's what bowl games were. Guess what bowl games were? They were
I'm
football.
wearing a jacket. Listen to me. App State has beaten Michigan. Do I think that Boise State can pull off the upset against Penn State? Yes. Do I think they win another one? Hell no. But I think it validates the champion at the end of the year when they didn't get upset. Like they played every game and they survived and they beat good teams. They beat teams and avoided the upset. Notre Dame plays NIU 9 out of 10 times they win. They lost that one Saturday. I think it makes the run to the championship that much better when you have to win 3 to 4 playoff games versus just 2.
My whole thing.
If you're so much better than them, then just beat them. And Penn State handled their business. They won. It's okay. But it's more impressive that they're winning more games to get to the championship. Nobody can cry, my team deserved a shot. No, they didn't. No. They weren't even in the top 12. There's no way people can make arguments, my team deserved a shot. Whereas when it's 4, if you're a top 5 team in any other league, NFL, MLB, NBA, if you're in the top 5,
they're different sports. There's no equal ground in this college football. There's no equal ground in college football like there is in NFL, NBA, MLB. There's no equal ground. You have a draft. Guess what? If your team's bad, you get a top pick. You get one of the best players coming up. College football, if your program's bad, you have to take a shovel, dig out a little hole, take an excavator to dig out the hole you just dug yourself into, just hoping you get a little bit above ground to maybe catch a 4-star, if you're lucky.
There's multiple. Every year, there's at least 5 teams that can win a natty. If you're in the top 5, you can win a natty.
Right. So win all your games and get to that point.
Yeah, but
all the regular season games.
There were years that teams were going undefeated that were left out. Not one loss. Undefeated.
Who?
Florida State.
Last year, guess what? They lost their quarterback.
I don't care. It's the team that got them 13-0. Not the
Do you-
quarterback.
do
They
you
won the
think-
ACC championship without him,
Do
so they
you-
can still win without him.
You
That's
think
not
that Florida
the
State last
committee's
year?
call. That's not the 60-year-old crusty-ass hair people's call.
You
They don't
think
even
Florida
watch the
State
game.
last year could have won a national championship without Jordan Travis? They could have won a national championship.
Yeah.
Without Jordan Travis.
Yes. Nobody let it play out, so we'll never know.
Brooklyn,
We never
A
had a
guy-
chance to let it be played out.
a man that's going to be selling insurance in the next
What's
20
the matter
years.
about selling insurance?
Nothing.
It's
I just
college
don't think he's
football.
going to
Not
win a
everybody says
national
so.
championship.
I've seen so many college football players that sell insurance that at the time were just ballers.
On national championship teams, he's
Yes.
the one undefeated.
JT
Who?
Barrett never made an NFL career. He was a freaking baller every Saturday, and he has a national championship ring.
Did he start that national championship game? Did he get him
I
there?
don't care. He was
Did
on
he
the
win
team.
those games to get him
He's the reason
there?
we got there. If you don't think he's the reason we got there, rot in hell.
I'm disappointed in you.
This is going well. This is going
I'm disappointed.
very well.
Very disappointed,
Listen,
Danny.
if we're just throwing out opinions, I don't even think we should have a national championship game. Let's just vote on it. Send it to the AP.
Now, let's
They
just
can
vote
crown
on
the
it. That's
national
what AJ
champion.
wants. No games.
I'm fine with
No
that.
games. We should know who's the best team by if they won all their games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Take the two best teams, let them play a national championship.
Ohio State didn't win all their games, and right now there's some people that are picking them to win the whole damn thing and be the best team. So no,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Because you can get
Because
mulligans
they lost
now.
2 games. They shouldn't have a shot.
They
Exactly.
should.
You
They can't do it.
Why?
The
They have
national-
the
the
most
national
embarrassing
championship.
loss in program history, and they have a shot to win a national championship. That's what screwed up about this program.
LSU won the 2007 national championship after losing 2 games.
Guess what? Everyone lost that season. Everyone had 2 losses.
You should have punched them. It can happen. That's what I'm
Everyone
saying.
had 2
You're trying to
losses.
write the record books instead of letting the history and record books even be played out.
No,
Yes, you can shake your head this way, but it's still this way.
that is not at all what I'm saying. Rewriting the record books?
Listen,
You know how stupid
Danny,
you sound?
The
You're trying-
national
Look at
championship.
yourself.
It's
Look
the
what you're
compilation
wearing.
of an entire season. It's the whole season's work. You make the playoff, and then you play. All right? If you lose 2 games in your season, you have a bad loss to NIU. You have a bad loss to Michigan.
Yeah.
You screwed the
Well,
books, buddy.
playoff
See you later.
allows that to
You
Not
lost your chance.
write
That's
the
right.
record books, and the best team writes in the record books who wins
What
the damn
made
national
college football?
Ohio
What
State
made,
might still have a pin, and they can still put their mark, because you can ask 80% of college football fans, and they'd agree Ohio State has a chance to win the whole damn thing.
Yes.
Last year, we would've
100%.
it would have taken our
100% of
team
people think
and
that.
they would have told us to go the fuck home.
100% of people think that. Do I think they should have that shot? No.
Right.
That's my thing.
And you're
I'm not
wrong,
saying
and your
they can't.
opinion doesn't matter because you're living in fantasy land. I'm living in what is presented right now. There's
I'm
12
living in that point too. We talk about the games, we predict the games, we recap the games. Whether I agree those games should happen that way, that's the difference. What made it college football different from every other sport in the world, besides the Premier League in soccer? The regular season mattered that much. You had no room for hiccups. No room for, oh, we lost that game. Don't worry, though. We can still make the playoff. I hate that. I hate that you can't get away with going perfect now.
He just muted himself.
Yes, he did. The fact that Oregon went 12-0, the only undefeated team in college football, they should be in the national championship waiting on whoever.
You bitch.
Georgia, probably.
And shut the.
For podcast listeners, Danny has muted his mic because he knows he's wrong and he looks so stupid while doing it.
He's cussing. There's lots
Yeah,
of
he's got it.
vulgar language.
Wait, he wrote a sign and he's holding it up saying, "Oh, I agree with AJ, and Trevor is handsome." Well, that's good for both of
Oh,
us.
thank you. Wow,
Thanks,
he's
Danny.
such a doll.
We're moving on because you don't agree and you're living in fantasy land and what you want to happen is not going to happen. So I hope you go cry yourself to sleep.
Danny, if you think I'm losing sleep over the fact that we don't have a 2-team
If you
playoff
think
or a
I'm losing
4-team
that-
playoff,
And the fact that what I want is here. And there's 12 teams that can win the whole damn thing.
there's
There's
not.
not.
There's
There
not.
is.
That's the
There's
thing.
fucking literally
That's
is.
the
It's not
thing.
7 to 8.
That's the thing. Go read your bedtime stories. Go leave cookies out for
I
Anna.
Go
true, buddy.
Go leave cookies and milk for Santa tomorrow night.
Then make Blam leave.
You don't even have a chimney. Where's Santa coming through? The front door?
Santa's not. I'm Jewish.
Dude. Come on.
Gosh.
What if kids watch this, man?
I hope they don't, because
He's not visiting. He's not visiting Danny's house.
they're going to be stupid because they listen to this guy right here, and they're
He's
going to
pointing at the
not
wall.
like
Pointing at the wall.
competition. They're going to not like competition. They hate this guy. This guy doesn't want it to be played out on the field. Right now, buddy.
Wait, is he pointing to himself on the wall? He's pointing
I
to little
don't-
second grade Danny right now.
I don't. Yeah, if the fathead's still up there, he's pointing at him.
He's pointing at
Right now.
Oh boy,
I did take my underwear down though.
that was fun. I had fun. I'm tired now. I need a shower. My balls smell.
All right.
Any other things?
Nope, I like
I think
football.
we need to
Playoff. The
circle back
playoff
on.
is going to be a great weekend.
Danny?
Oh.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Trevor, Merry Christmas. We'll see everyone. Probably won't have another show for this week.
Wait, yeah. So should we do like 2 more minutes and kind of give our score predictions for Notre Dame, Georgia, Boise, and all that?
We'll be back before the next game start. We'll be back before the next game start, Danny.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We got like a weird
Actually,
week.
for this week,
Like a week
yeah.
and a half. Okay, sorry. All right, hemorrhoids, everybody. Have a great Christmas.
Saturday or
Go
Sunday. Yeah. Enjoy your
Big
week.
Ten,
Enjoy Christmas,
for-
Hanukkah,
Christmas
Kwanzaa.
for-
Go Hawkeyes.
Bring back the BCS, please.
Bring
Bring
back
back
the beach.
yes in a 12-team format. I'm all in.
Reminder, Danny doesn't know ball. And
My bracket's the only person.
Go Hawkeyes.
Reminder, my bracket's the only person